Welcome, everyone, to a special hot edition of the Origin Community Call. We are celebrating the public launch of Origin Story, which is our record-breaking NFT sales platform. Then I think we'll check in on engineering progress for OUSD. And then we'll be wrapping up early, actually, to make way for an AMA in our Discord server with none other than Paris Hilton, who, of course, is an investor in Origin. She's kind of an NFT pioneer. She was really early on NFTs and on Ethereum, and who, at this very moment, is selling some NFTs on her own personalized storefront powered by Origin Story. If you're not watching live, we would definitely recommend that you join us in the future at originprotocol.com/Discord. And let's see, by the time you're watching this, if you're not watching live, you might still be able to bid on Paris's one-of-one auction. That'll be at nft.parishilton.com. But for everyone who is here, there are some sales just opening up there. So we'd love for you to keep hanging out here on the call, but go check that out if you're interested in getting a limited edition piece. And then there are also there's an open edition piece that is selling quite well, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Are there any other announcements before we get into the agenda and cover our usual topics? If not, I will keep it going. I wanted to just call out a couple of other things about, going back to the launch of Origin Story, the public launch. It's now open to everyone. Of course, that's at story.xyz is where anyone can sign up to be a creator. That allows you to mint NFTs, deploy your own smart contract without writing any code. We have flexible sales formats there that we're constantly iterating on. And then you can customize your own storefront and basically control your own brand and experience for selling NFTs. And then the last piece to that I wanted to mention is we've talked before about our innovative pricing model or commission model. It allows anyone to basically sell NFTs for free if they lock up OGN that comes out of a portion of their sales proceeds. So that's really exciting, not only for creators because they don't have to pay the standard commission that they have on other platforms, but for the rest of us OGN holders, it provides a mechanism for more OGN getting locked up and taken out of circulation. So again, check out story.xyz if you have any interest in creating some NFTs on your own or having your own storefront. And we look forward to hearing any and all feedback about that. So keep that coming. There's a little help widget from Intercom in the bottom right-hand corner, or drop into Discord anytime and ping me or anyone on the team, and we'd love to hear what you have to say about it. That's Origin Story. Any other announcements that anyone thought of before we jump into OUSD? I didn't really, in the meeting doc, in our notes, I didn't really do much with what we had from last week. I thought we'd just kind of revisit where we were. Josh, I don't think there are going to be any liquidity mining updates in the immediate future, but was there anything you wanted to say about that before we jump into the sprint check-in?
Yeah, I think the main thing we're going to continue watching what happens in the markets, but particularly the bribing markets. There's been a bit of a reset after the drama around Magic Internet Money and UST, but we're going to kind of see how the market adjusts. So we'll be tracking that closely and looking at opportunities to either come back in with a new proposal, restart it, or we may just continue buying and vote locking CDX ourselves and taking that approach. But yeah, we can probably take the liquidity mining section off the agenda for now, but we'll still be keeping our eyes on it and checking in from time to time on new opportunities around that.
For sure. Anyone have questions for Josh or about the liquidity mining campaign that's wrapping up? Let's talk about our sprint projects. We have 2-week engineering sprints. One of them started this past Thursday. So Domain is pretty much done, I think, with all the harvest upgrades that we've been talking about for a few weeks. I think I heard that, Daniel, you were doing a final review on his latest pull request, and you guys have been kind of simulating the deployment there. Do we have an update or a timeline for when we could expect that to land?
I'm good with my review at this point now, so I've tested it out, and I'm good with the code. I have two changes that are small, and we'll throw those in, but beyond that, it's ready to go from my point of view. We still need a review from Tom, and then that one's ready for deployment.
Sounds good. Anybody have comments or questions about the harvest upgrades?
I'm really excited. So much cheaper and so much faster.
Yeah, I'm probably not alone in just being excited about moving to more of a decentralized model with incentives to get us closer to the world we want to live in, where this thing runs on its own and continues to produce the same kind of yields that everybody loves, but with an even better user experience that everybody can participate in. Cool. Well, Tom, do you want to give an update on the governance project that you've been working on?
Yeah, I've just been chipping away on the UI, made some improvements to the contracts, but it's not too much to update on. It's going well. I think I'll drop it for today and do the review of that PR as a priority so we can get that out.
Cool. Did you get all the answers to all your questions that you had that you posted in GitHub and that we talked about in the past too?
I don't think we've made any firm decisions yet. There's been a few interesting governance activities on other protocols, which has kind of been cool to learn from in real time. But still thinking those through, I think.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing the governance proposal on Compound for TUSD from Justin Sun. Interesting to see that play out. Does raise some questions for us. I think one question is around whether we want to do extensions. If there's a whale comes in at the last minute and everyone's just ignored this proposal because no one expects it to pass. And then at the last second, a whale comes in and pushes it through. That could be really bad. And then if we don't have extensions, it means that basically every single proposal that ever goes up is potentially a crisis if we don't immediately respond to it. So I know the Open Zeppelin contracts have a module around this to do extensions automatically. Have you dug into that, Tom, or is that something you were planning to include?
No, I think I haven't been able to find it, but I agree that it makes sense to have extensions. Maybe I just haven't looked in the right place, but I'll hunt that down and have a look. I think it's probably a smart idea because you don't want to leave yourself in a position where something happens at the last minute and there's no response to it,
Or could you achieve something similar if you had it so that, let's say, some larger than quorum majority could come in after a vote with a bigger vote and then pause it or something, or cancel the vote if it was a bigger second vote during the time lock period?
You mean not after it's passed during time lock, like a veto style thing?
Yeah, some kind of big veto could come through.
Yeah, that's another idea. I have a look at the options. I mean, I think an extension should be reasonably simple. I'll take a look.
Yeah, one of the nice benefits of veto is that you're going to, a lot of people aren't going to pay any attention to anything until actually enters the time lock. And then it might be that when it's in the time lock, then people start looking and go, oh, there's a horrible bug here. You're going to, lose funds. And if we had a veto, we could turn, get in front of it. Where without it, we'd have to, we're handicapped by our own time lock and can't push something through. So I actually really like the veto idea.
Yeah, cool. I'll come up with some options and we'll discuss them next time.
Yeah, probably shouldn't be called veto, even just in that that's usually an executive action, whereas this is more of a we're taking it to an even bigger audience kind of thing. It's going the opposite direction of a veto.
Yeah, we'll call it just kidding mode.
Cool. Well, Tom, keep us posted. Let us know what you come up with and what other decisions need to be made. There were a handful of other projects that we talked about might come next for you guys. I think Doman's going to work on the IPFS deployment of the DApp. Tom, you have been making progress on layer 2 or multi-chain exploration. I know you sent out the survey. I'm wondering, do you have kind of a deadline for when you'd like people to respond or submit the responses to the survey?
I think sort of today is long enough. I think we've got 30 odd responses, and I'll share the results today, but there's no strong consensus for anything. It's a mixed bag, kind of as I expected.
It's depends on which coins you're holding, which chain you like the best, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I will link that again here in the notes if anyone wants to respond before the end of the day. That will be here. And if anybody wants to drop that in Discord, it'd probably be a good idea. I might do that later if no one has. Okay. Daniel, you were going to explore the dripper concept to stream rewards from harvest. Did you happen to do that?
I did not. It ended up being review people getting hacked last week.
All right.
Instead, so I will be doing that tomorrow, doing the design, and then I'll do that at 9 a.m. PST, 11 p.m. EST, and I'll probably just do it here in this Discord channel and have fun. If anybody wants to show up, they can show up and watch. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah. Any big learnings or takeaways from the hacks last week?
There wasn't anything that affects us, and it just reinforces how dangerous bridges are, and that they're not just kind of printing their own currency; they're essentially printing other people's currency, and that you have to secure both ends of them well, even if everything works as intended in the middle. They're just, it's really dangerous to have a bug. I'll take it back. All three bugs, multi-chain, qubit, and wormhole, were all stupid bugs. They were not things that you couldn't have anticipated. I guess they were surprising, as a lot of Ethereum things are, but they were all, in the end, something fairly stupid and didn't take something sophisticated to hack. It was just, there was a bug and people drove through it. I'll have things I learned in write-up for just ways to avoid problems, especially around using the permit functions, ways you would think you could use them, can't actually. But it turns out people documented those before. So I don't think there's any particular lesson for us other than that I guess we're going through the phase when bridges get hacked, and eventually people will, the bridges that survive will probably be secure.
Yeah, I think one of the questions for me as we think about multi-chain is what the consequences would have been if Jump hadn't jumped in and made everyone whole, or hadn't, backed the Ethereum. Because all of it, the people who use the bridge are long gone, right? They've already swapped for something else. Maybe they've gone somewhere else. They're just passing through, and so the funds being not being backed causes all sorts of problems with empty assets on the other chain, and this will be something we'll want to think through as we think about multi-chain. Is what happens in that sort of scenario again, right? If something like Wormhole were to be compromised, we're left with and people are trading for stable coins, the value of those is going to be is going to take a hit as well. So pretty gnarly to think through all of the repercussions of that sort of thing, and thank God for Jump coming into the rescue, I guess.
Yeah, although I think they probably owned a lot of the funds, since one of their main things is trading across bridges and stuff. So it was probably a lot of their own funds they were helping rescue. Kind of reduced how much of a hit it was to them. But yeah, I don't know how much this falls on the decentralized, centralized border, or if we can do it in a decentralized way. But one of the things I really like about either USDT or USDC is that they have basically minter accounts that can only mint, let's say, 500 million USDT or something. There's basically set thresholds and multiple things that can mint them, but each can only mint up to a threshold. And so if you had some way to say that this bridge could only handle $50 million worth of OUSD or $10 million worth of OUSD or something without a governance vote action or something, then you don't hit this thing where you have an infinite mint, basically. There's a limited amount of damage that can be done. Like something like that could, in particularly, be useful during a rollout period, or to give a new bridge some time. Also, if it's popular, as we've seen, I think with some other protocols, if there's a limit on how much you can have, then it makes it really popular, and everybody's going to grab it when the limit raises. But yeah, something like that could be useful in moving to a multi-chain world.
Thanks for keeping an eye on all that stuff, Daniel. It seems like you enjoy digging into those and learning from them, even though we wish that they weren't happening, but I think it's a growing pain for the whole ecosystem. All right. I guess there was one other thing on the Sprint project list that we had discussed last week, which was strategy voter tooling. Daniel, were you going to kick off a GitHub issue for that?
Yes, and I'll be doing that. I don't know how much of a priority it is. It's something, I guess, more on Josh's side, how much of a priority it is versus other things. For me, I think the spreadsheet hits a lot of what we need, or gets us halfway there anyway. But we could definitely do more.
Yeah, let's at least come up with a spec for what the options are, I think, and what we think would be most helpful, and then we can decide where it slots in. And Sounds like good. I said last week, I can jump in on that too, since I'm a pretty active voter on the governance proposals. But I'm sure you know more than I do about what I'm missing as a voter. Speaking of governance proposals, I believe there's only one open, which is this week's strategy allocation. And I need to link that here in the notes. I created it, but forgot to link it. So I will do that here in a moment. Not aware of any other proposals, either formal or informal. But there's always people dropping in Discord making suggestions. So if any of those people are here or watching later, we have for that governance channel in Discord, and would encourage you to float ideas there, and then create a proposal at vote.originprotocol.com whenever you're ready, and that's where everyone can vote on the strategy allocation starting in a few hours, and that will wrap up, I think, 48 hours later. Okay, the last topic I had on the agenda, with approximately 9 minutes to go before the Paris Hilton AMA, is I just wanted to highlight a little bit more about what's going on Story, the NFT platform. One thing I forgot to mention earlier in the announcement is that we've had over 1,000 creators sign up for Origin Story. So I'm really excited to see what all they end up launching and minting on their storefronts. We're starting to see, as questions come in from a handful of them, and feedback they're providing. It's pretty cool to see the variety of different, whether it's artwork or music-related NFTs, just lots of different things that people are doing, and that's what we're excited about, is not being gatekeepers and letting people really, leverage their own creativity and bring their own ideas and do things that we wouldn't have imagined them doing. As for the Paris sale, last time I checked, her one open edition NFT that started selling late last week has sold over 17,000 units, and that's to 9,342 unique users when I last ran that query. So that's really exciting. I think it's evidence of the fact that not only is she reaching a lot of people in the Web3 community, but she's also bringing over some of her audience, her mainstream audience, and that's really what we want to accomplish with the platform, is growing, the NFT adoption in the Web3 community, and kind of being on the forefront of taking NFTs mainstream. She also has a couple of limited editions that I mentioned. Those are on sale right now, and I'm not going to take the time to jump over there and see how that's going, but I imagine it's going to go quickly. And then the one-of-one auction starts tomorrow. And I guess on all of these, there's a list of real-world benefits and utility that come with these NFTs. So all the buyers of the there's been 17,000 units sold already, but all the buyers of that open edition on Polygon, they're eligible to win a variety of different prizes, not only from Paris, but also there's OGN involved, and then also the ability to mint one of an NFT from 888's Inner Circle collection that he's launching also. And then the other things that come with the one-of-one auction from Paris are a shopping spree, lunch with her, and a bonus super plastic NFT. So she's really kind of pushing the envelope on what all can be done with this collection. So it's really exciting. We love having creators like this as flagship users and champions for the platform. So it's full speed ahead now, and I'm glad we finally got this thing off of High Center. Any other comments from the team or any questions from the community?
From the community, this is Jason here. Is it Origin strategy going forward to keep working with people like Paris and all these marquee artists, BT, et cetera, with creators, or is it just kind of like, hey, we're going to let this go off and running, and the dynamic aspect of just the platform kind of selling itself?
I can take this one.
Oh, sure.
So our vision around this is not to be the gatekeepers, right? We want to have a permissionless platform that anyone is welcome to use. But we also have quite an advantage right now, just from having worked with so many top creators and having run so many record-breaking sales on our platform, that we're one of the few platforms that these top creators will trust to run their sales. And so we're going to continue doing some of these really marquee drops. They raise a lot of awareness for us, and then those people become OGN holders, and then are incentivized to tell their friends about Origin and what we're doing. But really, again, our vision is not to be the gatekeepers. We don't want to be the ones who's deciding who gets to do a drop and who gets to sell NFTs and who doesn't. That flies in the face of kind of our whole values around this. We really want to democratize this and open this up for anyone who wants to sell NFTs to be able to do that on the Origin platform.
Great, thank you. Excellent work. This is all looking so awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
I have a question. This is James. Hey there.
Sure.
Yeah, I became aware of Origin during Blouse drop last February or March. I've been playing around with Story for the past couple nights, and I really liked it. I've also been an OpenSea user for the past couple months, and yeah, it's great that now we can push artists to create their own smart contracts, so that I can relay it correctly to my community. Like, what is kind of the strategy, and is it kind of exactly that? Are you looking to kind of create almost like a very easy to use, like Squarespace-esque platform? Thanks.
Yeah, we want to make it easy for creators to launch their own NFTs on their own websites under their own brands, and really give them all the tools that they need to be able to run that sale from start to finish. And we support multiple different sales formats and some basic customizations where you can set it up on your own domain. And we're obviously we want to continue innovating and doing new things. But that's certainly that focus of serving creators and helping them sell NFTs is really the vision for this product.
Anybody else want to say hi or have a question, want to introduce yourself? Let us know how you ended up here. If not, we'll be here same time, same place. Oh, yep, we got one more. Go ahead.
Pink Glasses, did you have a question?